Welcome to the Drew Yari Show.
Hey, what is going on, guys? And happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Gobble, gobble. I hope everyone's having a really safe and happy Thanksgiving. I don't know if everyone's already eating. I know some people like to start Thanksgiving pretty early. I know some people like to start pretty late. Either way, I hope everyone's indoors with their loved ones, family, friends, or even just enjoying it by themselves. You know, just happy Thanksgiving to all. This is a very special Thanksgiving episode. I'm recording a little early in the day. The missus has to work on Thanksgiving. The store she works at, which I'm obviously not gonna say where she works, is the only fucking store that has to be open on Thanksgiving. And it's just like other stores like Target or Walmart. They're like, yeah, we're gonna be closed on Thanksgiving because we're not complete dickheads. Nah, this fucking store has to be open every year on Thanksgiving. So I really don't get it. It's stupid. It's fucking asinine. It's absurd. I mean, shit, we should already be eating by now. But we gotta wait for her to get out. She'll more than likely get out around 5-ish. I mean, hopefully by some divine miracle, she can get out early. You know, either way, I still gotta work on. I wasn't able to get tomorrow off, so I mean, we'll see what happens. But yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope everyone's doing fine. Whoever is partaking in Black Friday tomorrow, you're a better man than me. You're a better woman than me. You're a better person than me. Plain and simple. Just be safe. Don't get too crazy tomorrow. I mean, shit, I get it. You want the new PS5. You want the new Xbox. You want whatever the fuck it is you're trying to obtain. Just be careful. Don't get too crazy. I mean, I've never participated in Black Friday shopping. I mean, going to the store. I'll do my Black Friday my Black Friday shopping at home. I mean, and if any, I'll usually go like later in the day or at night when things are died down and, you know, people are less crazy. So, and also just people in general. I don't want to go surrounded by people. I don't feel like punching somebody just because I want a new PS5. I mean, I will if I have to. I'll take my trusty garden shears, which I don't know how I'm going to get that past security, but I mean, I'll do what I need to do to, you know, get that new PS5. Man. But just everyone be safe. So it's just me today. I was trying to see if I can get RJ on, but he hasn't responded. So I'm assuming he's busy. I don't want to put pressure on people to, you know, do things with me. You know, so RJ, if you're listening, hope you're doing great, man. Hope you're doing great, buddy. We need to do a new Patreon show. We're long overdue. We haven't been able to get one done. I know last week me and Ruben were supposed to do something, but then shit got in the way. Today, me and him I was supposed to be on his show, the Ruben Prime show, Ruben Prime podcast actually, and he texted me letting me know, hey man, I don't feel that well, blah blah blah. Which again, not gonna hold that against him. Which I was actually looking forward to being on the show. So, but you know, we're gonna postpone that until next week. So, Ruben, hope you're having a good Thanksgiving, brother. Same thing with Mr. Jeff Lippman. I made sure to send all my my Patreon compadres a nice little Thanksgiving message. I sent one to Jeff. We're supposed to do something pretty soon. We just need to set up a schedule. And yeah, just everybody, all my podcasting compadres, my family, my friends. If you're listening, happy Thanksgiving. I've said that like a billion times, but. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. But yeah, it's going to be a solo show today. We have a few things to talk about. Really only have things that really matter. I mean, we can talk. We're definitely going to talk about The topic at hand now, which is Survivor Series, which happened this past Sunday, November 21st, in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Let's kind of get one big thing out of the way. So, this was projected as the 25th anniversary of The Rock. The Rock debuted at Madison Square Garden at Survivor Series back in '96. He debuted as Rocky Maivia as a surprise tag team partner, and he went on to have an okay career, if I must say. But yeah, they're projecting this as the 25th anniversary of The Rock, and the idea was that he was going to come out, and he was probably going to come out the end of Roman's match with Biggie and confront Biggie, or not Biggie, but confront Roman and set up their next big match. But the one thing that kind of threw me off earlier in the show was Caleb Braxton was talking to Paul Heyman and brought up the fact that Brock Lesnar's suspension is no longer active, or it's going to expire. So I'm like, are they going to continue Roman and Brock and add Rock in it? I mean, because that'd be a big money match. I mean, Roman, Brock, and Rock at the next pay-per-view, because December is not going to have a pay-per-view. There was supposed to be TLC, but they decided to cancel it because they're doing, what was it, Day 1 on New Year's Day, which, good for them. Good for the fucking wrestlers that have to not enjoy New Year's Eve with their families and friends. So, yippee skippy. So, I mean, the way it looks, I guess they're continuing The Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. I mean, I had Andrew Carlick on last week, and he said, they should probably just hold it off until they're in Hollywood next year. But, I don't know, the way it looks, it's going to be Roman and Rock at WrestleMania this year. And, that's going to be the big marquee money match that's going to main event the show. Hold up, someone texted me. I think it's RJ. Oh, it's Andrew Carlick. Andrew Carlick, wish me happy. I was going to say happy birthday. Let me just write him back. He's so nice. He likes to pretend that he's this hardened, mean individual, but deep down inside he's a big sweetheart. He's America's sweetheart. I think that's one of his like profile names, America's sweetheart. But yeah, it looks like we're getting Rock and Roman at Mania. But they hyped up Rock throughout this whole show, and they're showing like his greatest moments. And spoiler alert, I'm just gonna skip ahead to the end, to the last bit of the actual show. He didn't even come out. Rock didn't even fucking come out. I guess I'm assuming maybe because The Rock was filming something, because The Rock has like 8 million things to do at once. I mean, because I think he's still filming Black Adam. I don't know if he's doing that show Ballers anymore. He has his own like brand of gin, and maybe he's filming something else, because I know he has his own production company. So I don't know what he's doing, but I don't I don't know if maybe it's like they asked The Rock, can you show up for the Survivor Series, because we're gonna build it as the 25th anniversary of you debuting, and he let him know, I'll let you know if I can, but still keep the thing going. Maybe he let him know at the last minute, hey, I can't show up because I got this. I still got to film Black Adam or whatever. And they're like, all right, well, it's your 25th anniversary, so we still got to build it as your 25th anniversary. So, I got to cook and shit. I'm up my neck. All right, don't worry about RJ. RJ cannot join us, so it's just going to be a solo show. I'm just writing RJ back. He's got to cook. I don't know how to cook. Yeah, I don't know what happened. But, so, they did a bit in the back where a limo pulls up. And my first thought was, it can't be The Rock. Because The Rock, usually when The Rock shows up, he shows up driving himself. He doesn't show up in a limo. So, if that was like Hollywood heel Rock from, 2003 maybe, but yeah, he would have showed up in like his big ass truck, talking a bunch of shit. So it's Vince McMahon and his eyebrows, which I always like to say. We'll get to Vince McMahon in a bit. He shows up and he goes, wait a minute. As if he maybe has something or somebody special in the limo. He pulls out a golden egg. To which, the wrestlers that were, going apeshit for Vince were like, what is that supposed to be? And then Vince is like, and then the fans, not the fans, but the wrestlers in the back are, clapping because they're like, it's a golden egg, ha, yay, ha, we gotta laugh or we're gonna get fired like everybody else. So that happened. And then we get a backstage segment with Roman, where Roman goes up to Vince's door, and there's a security guard there, and Roman just looks at the security guard like, move out of the fucking way. And then the security guard moves. He goes in and talks to Vince, and then Vince tells him about the egg, that it was promoting The Rock's new movie on Netflix, Red Notice, which I haven't watched. I heard good things about it, but from what I can gather in the trailer, I guess it's centered on the egg. It's supposed to be Cleopatra's golden egg. And Vince is talking about The Rock. Your cousin Rock, he came here with some bucks in his pocket. Hold on, I'm trying to move around. Fuck. Sorry about that. That was Vince. Like I had the volume up because I was watching it on my Roku TV in the bedroom, which I'm actually at now, and I had the volume up, and I had to lean in because I couldn't hear what Vince was saying, because it was just a lot of grunting and gruffing and your cousin Dwayne gave me $7. Gave me this golden egg. Fuck, that's gonna hurt my voice. I'm trying to do as little of it as possible. Give me this golden egg. Cleopatra's worth $100 million. Yeah. And then Roman's just like, kind of like my next contract, and walks out, and Vince just gives him this ugly look. And then later in the night, Adam... is it Adam Page? Why am I fucking blanking on the name? Scrap Daddy. What the fuck's his name? Adam... Why am I blanking on the motherfucker's name? Fuck it, I'm just gonna say Adam and Sonya Deville come in, talking to Vince, and Vince just now realizes somebody stole his egg. And he lets him know, talk to everybody who stole my egg. Which was the central point of Monday Night Raw the next night, which we'll get to that. So that was pretty much the basis of the show. So let's get to the actual wrestling matches. The pre-show was champion versus champion. Shinsuke Nakamura, who's the Intercontinental Champion, versus Damian Priest, who's the United States Champion. Match is 9 minutes and 25 seconds. It's kind of an odd match. I mean, because Nakamura brought it. When Nakamura wants to bring it, he will. And, of course, Damian Priest is over. I don't like his new theme. I really don't. I prefer the actual, like, Archer of Infamy, da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, like, I don't know why they're taking away his fucking entrance. I don't. I hope it's not a cross thing. I really don't. But, just, I don't know why they took it away. I really don't. I don't like the new theme. It's really generic. The new Sheamus entrance where he's just out there, he has his arms out like he's Jesus. I don't like the entrance. I just don't. I really don't like the entrance. I don't. I'm just gonna say that. I don't. And one thing I thought was odd was Damian Priest is a New York boy, and I would have figured he would have gotten a bigger pop. So I don't know what's going on with Damian Priest. I don't know, maybe the crowd's like, they're not as into him as we thought. But I really don't know. It's odd. But the match was okay. I mean, during the match, Rick Boogs was playing his guitar, his air guitar, or not air guitar, but his electric guitar throughout the match, and Damian Priest told him straight up, if you do that one more time, I'm going to take care of you. And then he plays it again, then he goes out and then takes Boogs' guitar and breaks it, and then attacks Boogs. and then attacks Nakamura with, I think, the guitar, and then he gets disqualified. So they were teasing a heel turn with Priest, which I thought, okay, good. He needs a character change at this moment because I think the crowd's starting to get a little like so with him. So that happened. Let's open up the show. Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, versus Charlotte, the SmackDown Women's Champion, in a Champion vs. Champion match. Match was 18 minutes and 15 seconds. Everything I wanted this match to be. I just wish I just wish there was no pinfall, no submission. I just wish there was more of a fuck finish. As in, Charlotte loses control because she starts beating the shit out of Becky and she gets herself disqualified. Or they both get counted out because they're beating the shit out of each other. I don't know. Like, I kind of wish that was the ending. But, I mean, I didn't have a problem with the ending because, you know, Charlotte tried to get the sneaky pin and the ref caught her, and then Becky ended up getting the sneaky pin. The ref didn't catch her. But, yeah, the match was good. There was a lot of ferocity. It started off hot, which good because they built this match on the premise of these two do not like each other. They hate each other. They want to beat the fuck out of each other. So good. I like the fact that there wasn't a tie-up at the beginning, that it was just like straight-up action. Like, boom. Becky punches her right in the face. I like it. Loved it. It was the match of the night, in my opinion. Best match of the night, by far. So that's definitely going to go up there in a match of the year category, which I need to start working on as soon as December, before December rolls around. I need to start working on my matches of the year and my worst matches of the year. But this match worked. I like these two. These two can obviously work together. Even if they hate each other, they can still work together. I like the fact that after the match ended, Charlotte was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm still the best. Like, blow me. If I literally had a dick, you all could blow me. I'm still the best. And she just walks away. Just doesn't even bother shaking hands with Becky. She just walks away. So, good for that. That match went the way it should have. I just wish it ended differently. But, what do I know? Next was the men's Survivor Series, the men's 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. 30 minutes. Yeesh. Team Raw, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, and Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley take on Team SmackDown, Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Woods, Happy Corbin, and Sheamus. Beginning of the match, you know, Owens starts off the show against, who was it, King Woods? Like he's getting ready to beat some ass. As soon as the bell rings, he rolls out of the ring and walks away. You know, he basically pulls an Eric Cartman. Screw you guys, I'm going home. And, you know, he's telling Seth, you know, you want me to be the scumbag? I'll be the scumbag. I like how Kevin Castle just called him a bum. Like, you fucking bum. You traitor. Go to AEW. Which at this point, I mean, Kevin Owens already has 1 foot out. He's going to AEW. There's 3 things that are for sure in life: death, taxes, and Kevin Owens going to AEW to be Kevin Steen. Yeah, still got to figure out whether I work tonight or not. Oh, fuck, RJ has to work too. Jesus. So I guess I was wrong. Walmart is open. Probably getting ready for Black Friday. So now Team Raw is short a guy. I wasn't crazy about some of the eliminations because the big guys in this match were McIntyre and Lashley and Sheamus, but Sheamus was one of the last sole survivors of SmackDown. But I guess they need to find a way to get McIntyre out without making it look too weird. So they had McIntyre and Lashley brawl outside of the ring and get themselves counted out, which I was just thought, maybe you could have found a more creative way to do that. But, I mean, and we'll get to how I wanted the match to end. So that happened. Woods gets eliminated by Lashley, which I was fine with because I thought Woods had a lot of momentum. I personally thought with the momentum that Woods had going into the match, they should have had him and Bobby Lashley be the sole survivors of both of their teams, and Woods is just, you know, fighting it out until the end. But he's against Bobby fucking Lashley. And there's no possible way that he can beat the dominant Bobby Lashley. The almighty Bobby Lashley. So Bobby Lashley ultimately taps him, gets him to tap out in the Hurt Lock. So, I mean, I thought that would have been a better move. I mean, they went with something that I thought was interesting because it looks like they're building Jeff Hardy up for something else. But everyone else fights. Jeff. It all comes down to Jeff and Seth. Seth being on Raw, Jeff being on SmackDown, and Jeff over as fuck, over as a motherfucker. In the year 2021, that crowd was loving everything he was doing. I'm a Jeff Hardy fan. I always will be. Never been a Matt fan. Matt's just in AEW doing what the fuck he's doing in AEW, doing that Matt Hardy office shit. And Jeff was over. He was over like a rock star. Eventually, he couldn't overcome Seth, which it made sense. The right guy won, unfortunately. Seth won. He goes for the Swanton on Seth, which I was getting a little hyped. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, "Oh shit, come on!" And then Seth gets his knees up. I'm like, "Ah!" And then Seth goes for the curb stomp and gets the 1-2-3 for Team Raw. So I mean, good. The right guy won. The match was fine. I just wish, with all the momentum you had for King Woods, and as much as I like Jeff, it's just like Jeff's already had his time in the sun. He's already had title matches, so you could have really done something with King Woods or Xavier Woods, whatever you want to call him. But that's just my opinion. I'm happy with how the match turned out. So it looks like they're gonna want to do something with Jeff. I mean, because Jeff had that promo on SmackDown where he brought up Roman, where he said, King Woods is a much better king than Roman, or than the head of the table, or however you put it. So I guess Jeff is in line to be the next opponent for Roman, because I know Jeff said, before he retires, that he wants to work with Roman. And I mean, I assumed that was going to happen at maybe like TLC, but there's not TLC, so that's probably going to happen at day one, or it could even happen at I was going to say Royal Rumble, but I think they might save that for Brock, a rematch with Brock. So maybe that'll happen. But the match was fine. Next is probably the worst match of the night, The Rock's 25th anniversary. 25-man duel branded Battle Royal. I'm not even going to bother pulling up the opponents. Almost won by eliminating Ricochet. Match was 10 minutes and 45 seconds. The prize, you would think for a Battle Royal, at least you'd win some type of plaque or a belt, like Braun won in that, Crown Jewel Battle Royal. Or maybe a title shot. You can be a number one contender for fucking Biggie. I don't know. Something. The fucking prize was pizza. Pizza. I like pizza. I'm not gonna shit on pizza. If you offered to buy me pizza, I would be very happy. I would like you a whole lot. But in a fucking wrestling match, the prize is pizza. Pizza Hut pizza, by the way. And we're in New York, so it's like, really? Like, New Yorkers are supposed to be happy about Pizza Hut? And then almost didn't even get his pizza. The fucking Street Profits stole his pizza and threw it into the crowd. So, what the fuck? Come on. That's a heel move. That's a heel move, dude. Almost worked hard for that pizza. Regardless. But that was a shitty match. Probably another good... Next is another good choice for a match of the night. RK Bro versus... RK Bro, Randy Orton, and Riddle. The Raw Tag Team Champions versus the Usos, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Match was 14 minutes and 50 seconds. Let's get into... What is it? Randy Orton. Randy Orton broke a record. I'm just trying to pull it up right now. Are you serious? I can't find the fucking milestone. Okay, here we go. So Randy Orton had broken Kane's record of the most matches by any WWE superstar. 177 matches on a pay-per-view, breaking Kane's record. So good for Randy. And then he broke another record the very next night on Raw by having the most matches by any Raw superstar. So congratulations to Randy. He deserves it. Seems like he's having fun with this Riddle thing. He looks like he's more rejuvenated. Like he actually cares what he's doing. And judged by this match, he cared. And I like the match. I mean, the Usos can bring it. I mean, we can sit up here. I mean, regardless of what you want to say about the other Uso, the one who can't keep his nose clean or his mouth clean, they still went out there and produced. They went out there and brought it. Fun match. Good back and forth match. Good tag team match. Good chemistry. I mean, Riddle again. Riddle's talented as fuck. He brought it. And then there's that RKO spot where one of the Usos goes for the off the top rope splash, and then Orton counters it into an RKO. So, and I almost missed it because like I was in the kitchen getting a snack, and all of a sudden I just turn around and I just see Orton go for an RKO while he's still laying on the ground. I'm like, holy shit, did that actually happen? Orton, still at his age. The guy just barely turned, 40? No, he's 42. Is it 42 or 41? 41, I'm sorry. 41. And he's still on top of his game. He's still working like he's, matter of fact, I think he's a much better worker now than he was whenever he was in Evolution. Like, he understands ring psychology. He understands how to go out there and have a great match. Granted, I think it depends on the opponent, because, if you put Randy Orton in there with, like, Jinder Mahal, it's going to be a shit match. It's going to be a basic, generic match where Randy's heart's not going to be in it. Which, I know the whole thing is, like, if you're a top guy, you should always go out there and give your A game, but I think for a guy like Randy, he's like, I don't give a fuck. This guy Jinder sucks. Put me in there with AJ. Put me in there with put me in there with Roman. Like, I'm going to go out there and produce results. So, good match. Second best match of the night, in my opinion. So good for Randy. Good on Randy for breaking 2 records in a matter of 24 hours. Next is the 5-on-5 Women's Survivor Series Elimination match. Match is 23 minutes and 45 seconds. Team Raw had Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Queen Zelina, defeating Team SmackDown, Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, Natalya, and Toni Storm. I mean, one good thing I'll say, at least Toni Storm had a good showing. At least they made Toni look like $1 million. She had 2 big eliminations. She eliminated, I don't know if you want to call them big, but like, she eliminated Carmella and Zelina. And I would say that's big because they still like to treat Carmella like she's some type of star for whatever reason. And they're, for whatever reason, trying to give Zelina a push, even though she sucks. She's just god-awful. So they gave Toni some good airtime. I mean, maybe that means something, maybe it won't. I mean, they're putting her in her feud with Charlotte, so that's going to mean something. I mean, she's more than likely not going to win. It'd be dope if she did, but I don't think she would. Other than that, that's pretty much the only good thing I got to say about this match. Oh, and then Shotzi. They made Shotzi look like something in this match. She was the sole survivor for SmackDown, but that's about it. Other than that, they made some odd decisions in this match. Like for one, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, who I don't know what they're doing with her. Like they gave her these start and stop pushes. Like they put her over heading into the Money in the Bank match, the women's Money in the Bank match, and haven't done anything with that at all. They didn't do anything with that. And then they stop her push, and I forgot what the fuck else they did. Like, they put her in a feud with Becky for the title. She's the number 1 contender against Becky. So, I said with Karlik when I had him on the show last week, what they should really do is have Liv be the sole survivor of Raw. Shouldn't necessarily have to win, but let her be the sole survivor so you can build her up as this underdog babyface. And they eliminate her like in the middle of the match. Which I'm just like, so who's Becky gonna face for the title again? Like, it reminds me of a story that Cornette told about Mark Merrow, because he said that Mark Merrow was in line to face Stone Cold for the title on an episode of Raw. It was going to be the main event of Raw. And the week before, Mark Merrow allows his wife at the time, Sable, who's like, I gotta say, like maybe like 90 pounds with big fake tits, to body slam him. And Stone Cold called Jim Ross and said, "So who am I facing again?" So it's just like, how are you going to build this girl up as your underdog babyface, but have her fucking thrown out like a piece of shit in the middle of the match? I mean, I like Bianca Belair, but it's just like, come on. Like, Bianca needs to kind of take a back seat and let Liv be the white meat, underdog babyface. Like, she's had her time. Let her kind of recharge her batteries. See, they're still trying to build her up, which, whatever. And then Sasha, who's a babyface for some reason, they do the stupidest thing. So they have her feud with the rest of her teammates on SmackDown, because Toni Storm got eliminated. So it was then Sasha and Shayna and Shotzi and Natalya. I know Shotzi and Sasha are having their own feud, but all of them get pissed off at Sasha, and they're all fighting in the back or outside of the ring, and the ref's counting, and they're all so mad at Sasha that they're gonna make sure she doesn't get back in the ring by the time the ref counts 10, which is fucking stupid. That was just fucking stupid. Like, Jesus Christ. You seriously couldn't think of a much better way. Like, you couldn't have had, Shotzi come out there and just, like, potato, Sasha on the back of the head. Like, whatever. So it all comes down to, what's her name? Bianca being the sole survivor for Raw. And then it's her against Natalya, Shayna, and Shotzi. And the story is that, Bianca overcomes the odds, and it's down to her and Shotzi, which I was happy for Shotzi, because obviously it seems like they like her, because they made her the sole survivor. I mean, they could have easily had it come down to Sasha and Bianca, or even Shayna and Bianca. That would have been dope, but they let Shotzi be the sole survivor. So good. They see something in Shotzi. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking in tongue-tied. I just kind of wish they didn't make her a heel. Because, what's weird about her heel turn is that when she was a face, like, things that she's saying now as a heel that she said as a face, it doesn't make any sense. It just sounds very off-putting. Like, I can't even tell the difference. Like, when she was saying, "Welcome to the ball pit," now that she's saying it as a heel, I'm like, how are you a heel? Like, I don't get it. I don't like it. I wish they could have kept her as a face. To me, she's marketable. I mean, you could sell that helmet of hers. You could sell that tank. I mean, you can make a killing off of that tank. Fuck. I mean, you can sell those at Target or Walmart or even on the fucking website. I should have got something to drink before this. But they're making her a heel. I mean, maybe it'll work. I don't know. Maybe because they want to have Sasha be the heel, or they want Sasha to be the top babyface on SmackDown since Charlotte's already the heel. Or I don't know. What do I know? Maybe because they need more heels for Sasha and they need more babyfaces for Charlotte. I mean, fuck, a babyface Shotzi would have been the perfect opponent for Charlotte, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe because they want to do something with Toni because they haven't done anything with her since they debuted her, and which I'm glad because I like Toni. Toni is better as a babyface. I hated her as a heel when she was on NXT because it made no sense. Just like Sasha's, or not Sasha, but Shotzi's heel turn makes no sense. But yeah, Bianca overcame the odds and won. This match was not very good. It was sloppy, just sloptastic. The crowd did not seem like they cared. I think the crowd wanted to get into it, but they just didn't care. I mean, they're doing the wave. I don't think they're passing around a beach ball. At least I don't think so. But and I think a CM Punk chant broke out, which I'm just like, dude, the guy's in fucking AEW. Cheer for him over there. It's stupid. That's so lame. Like, people who still do the CM Punk chant, even though he's not even in the fucking company. He's in another fucking company. I don't get it. But the match was not very good. So now we get to the main event. You have Roman Reigns versus Biggie, champion versus champion. Roman is the Universal Champion. Biggie is the WWE Champion. Match is 21 minutes and 55 seconds. I thought it was a good match. I thought these two seemed to match up pretty well. I liked a lot of the shit talking between the two. I thought Roman needs to tone down on the hey, I'm gonna stop and look at the crowd thing, because he's already over. Like, I don't get why he turns and looks at the crowd and yells. Like, dude, you're already over. Like, Paul Heyman needs to tell him that, or Paul Heyman or Vince needs to tell him that. I was like, dude, you're already over. You don't need to look at the crowd. I don't know, maybe I forget who said this. Maybe it's just Roman, like, he's finally over and he's like, I still gotta, ask the crowd if they like me. It's like, but you're already over. Like, maybe years of him trying to get himself over, and now that he's finally over, he wants to make sure he stays over, which I can get, but it's like, tone down on that a little bit, dude. Like, you don't need to do that. Pretty good back and forth action. I would have preferred if this match ended on, like, a double disqualification or a double countout, because Biggie just won the title, so you want to solidify him. You want to still make him look strong, but at the same time, you know damn well no one's pinning Roman for a while. Like, I think he's going to hold on to that fucking title for a while. He might even pass, Bob Backlund's, reign of, 4 years. But you still want to make Big E look like a top guy, which I'm still trying to give Big E a chance. I mean, he just won it 2 months ago. So I don't want to be, angry Drew, old man yells at Cloud. I still want to give him a chance. So it seems like he's being a little bit more serious and less comedic. So that's good. But yeah, the match, I think the match ended a little bit abruptly, because in a big match like this, you want that anticlimactic ending. And no Usos, which I was kind of glad, because, I'm kind of getting annoyed by the whole, the Usos are coming out and they're going to cost so-and-so the match and let Roman win, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm kind of glad that they didn't come out. It would have been nice. I mean, well, it did happen. Biggie did kick out of a spear, and Roman, he didn't kick out, but he grabbed the rope for, the big ending. But I thought the ending, well, looking back on it, maybe not, because the whole point of the match was, Biggie was trying to sell that he had a hurt leg, and Roman, like a shark to blood, as, I think Jim Ross would say, was going after the injury. So he goes after the leg, and then he gets Biggie back in the ring for a spear, 1, 2, 3. So that's the end of the match, which, I don't know, I just, maybe protect your champion. I really don't know. But that was Survivor Series. Not a very good show, honestly. I would give it maybe a 6.5. I gotta give it a 6.5. The best match in the night. I gotta say it's Becky and Charlotte. That's the best match of the night. I liked RK Bro and the Usos. That was another good match. I thought the men's Survivor Series match was enjoyable. There were just a few things wrong with it. I would have done things differently. Worst match of the night, the women's Survivor Series tag match was just very sloppy. The Rock's 25th anniversary battle royal almost winning, and he ends up winning pizza, but then the Street Profits take away his pizza. And the whole egg thing I just thought was fucking ridiculous. So, yeah. That is that was Survivor Series, people. So let's get to Raw, which I didn't watch Raw. I am just going to talk about the big show. I guess two big things. I did watch Raw, watch the main event. So we'll get to the two big storylines of the night. So, Seth Rollins, hot off, being the sole survivor of Raw, had a match with Finn. I believe Seth won the match. I'm assuming he won the match because I didn't watch the show. But I ended up finding out about this, later on. So after Seth leaves the match, he goes up the ramp, and instead of a fan jumping the rail, well, a fan did jump the rail, but he didn't make it obvious. So it's not like before where it was just a ramp that was over, the barricade. Like, there really is no ramp. It's just an entranceway. It's an aisleway, essentially. And whenever you walk out, you see two, big barricades to the side. So this fan, I don't know how he did it because he's kind of a chunky-looking motherfucker. He hops the rail, and he circles all the way to Seth when he's walking up. So it looks like there's another wrestler that's making like an appearance, and that had to be Seth's first. Thought was like, oh, are they doing a run-in that they decided to plan at the last second? No, it was just a guy who ends up tackling Seth, and Seth, has to think on his feet. Like, I mean, he doesn't really have time to think on his feet, but he ends up getting this guy in like a guillotine, and he can't really do much because you already have announcers and you have referees coming out to pull this guy off. So I listen to Wrestling Soup, and Wrestling Soup, they had their opinion, which is, Seth should have been thinking about his family. He should have just potatoed this guy. Yes and no, because I listened to that and listened to Cornette's show, which Cornette made the point of, like, these guys were already holding this guy, so Seth literally couldn't do anything. He couldn't hit this guy. Another thing I just thought was very disturbing was that security, quote unquote, was walking this guy up the ramp out of the arena instead of just fucking taking this guy out of the arena. And when the security is behind the dude, and the dude's like throwing high fives to people, it's like, this guy could have easily made an audible and decided to throw a punch at your security that was conveniently trailing behind this dude. So, obviously, I'm glad Seth is okay, regardless of how we want to feel about Seth. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't be something that anybody has to worry about. Unfortunately, it is, because in the line of work that Seth is in, you have to worry about shit going sideways. You have to worry about being on live TV and forgetting your train of thought and having to call an audible. And this isn't the first time that fans have jumped the rail. There have been a lot of instances where fans jumped the rail. This guy, obviously, I don't even think it was a thing of he wanted to kill him. I think it was just, he didn't have any weapons on him, but he could have easily brought in a razor and hid it behind his phone case. But I have it right here, Daily News, New York Daily News. The fan's name is Elissa Spencer, 24 years old. Let's see what he says. Spencer told the Daily News he was trying to assist Rollins' rival during the Monday Night Raw show and wanted to settle a beef dating back to 2019 over what happens to be a catfishing scam concocted by someone posing as a popular wrestler. So, somebody pretended to be Seth Rollins, or Colby Lopez, talking to this guy who's clearly mentally ill. Like, he clearly is a fucking nut job. I don't care if that's offensive. Fuck him. He says, I apologize to WWE for my actions. I had a legitimate beef, but as a grown man, I could have settled it a different way. If I saw him today, I wouldn't have attacked him. I've moved on. Spencer told the News he first met Rollins at a meet and greet a few years ago, where he asked the wrestling star for help to launch his own career in the business. But things went south after he started communicating on WhatsApp and other messenger services with someone who he remains convinced was Rollins. Sorry, I heard something outside. He was asking me to send him gift cards in exchange for money, mostly $500 or more, to see if I was loyal. Jesus Christ. He asked me to be a wrestling blogger for him. I wanted to work my way up. After buying about $3,000 in cards, the check that person claiming to be Seth Rollins sent back bounced, Spencer said. Spencer said he communicated with Rollins through accounts under his WWE name and his real name, Colby Lopez, and was blocked on social media by Rollins' wife, Becky Lynch, who is the current Raw Women's Champion. He posted chat logs between himself and Rollins, quote-unquote, under his Instagram account after Monday's incident, but none of those exchanges showed anything that proved he was actually talking to the wrestler. All are your true fans love you a lot, and the ones that are fake fans will be fake fans, Spencer wrote in a social media exchange. I am a real fan of yours. Rollins, speaking Wednesday with TMZ in Los Angeles, offered no indication of any interaction with Spencer and called for a ban on the fans' attendance for future WWE events. It's terrifying, brother. It happened very quickly. Once the tackle happened, I knew what was going on. The guy was barreling around the corner. There's a lot more. Jesus. The Hardcore Wrestling Man recalled booking a front row seat to Monday's show as Rollins exited the ring after beating Balor. The 5'4", 180-pound Spencer rushed the WWE star. My plan was to help Finn Balor. I'm a fan. I like his aura, his attitude. I like everything about his charisma. I like everything about him. I jumped from where I was sitting at. I ran and speared Rollins. I busted his lip open, and he caught me with a headlock, or in a headlock. I broke the headlock, and I was trying to get him. And then the referees and the security guards broke us apart. And somebody's fucking car alarm is going off. Yeah, fuck it. Anyways. Police charged Spencer with attempted assault and attempted violation of arts and cultural affairs by disrupting a live sporting event. He was given a desk appearance ticket to appear in court at a future date and released. And that was about it. So, again, this guy was clearly mentally ill. He was not only mentally ill, he was fucking stupid. And I'm still gonna keep talking with that fucking car alarm going off. Like somebody, I don't know how nobody hears their car going off and doesn't fucking do something about it. It's like, Jesus Christ. So this guy was clearly mentally ill. Like it wasn't even a matter of, I want to kill this guy because he has heel heat. Like, no, he wants to help, Finn because he wanted to help his favorite babyface. Like, that was obviously not the best course of action. And how is there no security out there? Like, you saw a lot of referees and you saw a lot of announcers come out to help Rollins, which is good, but it's just like not one police officer and not one security guard. I mean, when is WWE going to start stepping up their security game? I mean, because I know there was another incident that happened at Barclays. I just can't really remember it that well. But what would have happened if that was Becky? What would have happened if that was Charlotte? What would have happened if that was, I don't know, Bianca? Like, WWE, like, is it going to take for a fan to attack a woman for WWE to take things more seriously? Like, they need to really up their game. They need to up their security game. They need to protect their wrestlers because it ain't what it used to be. And I'm not gonna fucking be like Chavo Guerrero, where I'm like, oh, remember when the wrestlers are more tougher than the fans? Like, no, I'm not gonna be like that fucking idiot. Like, it's not what it used to be. It ain't what it used to be. I mean, because nowadays you're going to get a big-ass lawsuit, and with WWE, they're a publicly traded company, so they don't want lawsuits, especially from fans. I mean, I'm surprised AEW hasn't got lawsuits. I mean, have they got a fucking lawsuit for, what is it, at Full Gear when, I forgot who, like, fell into the crowd and, like, knocked down some fans? Does anyone have any updates on that? If anyone has any updates on that and you're listening to the show, please tell me. Yeah, it's a scary situation. I mean, I can imagine for Seth what he was thinking. Fuck, I have a daughter. I have a wife. Like, I don't know what this dude's going to do. So, he should have just pie-faced the dude, personally. He should have just beaten the fuck out of him. Beat the ever-living piss out of him. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in a situation where somebody tackles you, punch him in the face, get up, and just start stomping their head in. Like, I don't know. But, you know, in Seth's case, it's just like, you know, we can call him a pussy because, you know, he's like, I wanted to avoid a lawsuit. Good. Again, WWE is a publicly traded company. They want to avoid lawsuits. Maybe a part of Vince McMahon was like, you know, well, maybe you should have, maybe should have thought of some cheap shots in there. I'm not gonna do Vince anymore. It's a double-edged sword, but at the end of the day, it's just like the fans have no business running into the ring. I mean, if you want to throw trash, if you want to hold up signs, if you want to cuss out the wrestlers, whatever, that's your prerogative. Do not get out of your seat. Like, just don't. And you notice how it's the smaller wrestlers where I don't want to say Seth is a small guy, but he's not a big guy. It's usually the smaller wrestlers that get attacked. Imagine this guy trying to get in there and take down Bobby Lashley. Like, imagine him trying to go in there and go after Roman. Roman would have fucking owned him. Or Brock. I think Brock would have just fucking... He wouldn't even have to do anything. Brock... I can imagine Brock just grabbing this kid and just start punching him in the fucking face. Because I don't think Brock gives two shits about lawsuits. Like, he would have been like, "No, fuck this guy." Oh, man. I can see Charlotte maybe hold her own. You know, Becky could hold her own. Not to say that... Not saying I condone violence or anything like that, but it's just like, if it's between me and that person, I'm going to choose me. 100%. Yeah, I mean, I hope Seth is okay. I hope his wife. I hope his family's okay, because I know there was a shot of after they carried that fan out. You saw, you know, Becky coming out to the entranceway, like looking like, "Where's that fucker?" Because I'm pretty sure she wanted to get on it too. And Becky's Irish. She's fucking nuts. I'm pretty sure she would get in there and throw some cheap shots. As for the rest of the show, so they saw the great egg napping of 2021. So Vince came in. I'm not gonna do a Vince impression anymore. It's killing my throat. Where he said, you know, he told Sonya Deville and Adam, Scrap Daddy, that, you know, find my egg or you're fired. And whoever can find my egg gets the number one contender shot, you know, against Biggie. And it ends up being Austin Theory. Austin Theory's in the main event of Raw. You know, at the very next night, after a big pay-per-view for the WWE Championship. So that's cool. He has a match against Biggie, which, again, it was a good match. It was a good showing for, you know, Austin Theory, because they clearly see this guy as something, and he's talented. He has a good look to him. He can talk. That's something you can do something with. I mean, as long as he can keep his nose clean and, you know, stay out of trouble, I think he'll do fine. And then Biggie won, and, you know, they're setting up Biggie and Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. I don't know what they're... I'm assuming that's going to be a triple threat at the New Year's Day pay-per-view. And then after that, you know, Owens is gone. He's going to go bye-byes in the car. So I think that's where we're going. Which I wouldn't mind that. the rest of Raw I did not watch. Those are the only two news stories that I brought up. So I listened to the CM Punk and MJF promo to open AEW. That's the only thing I really cared about in AEW is that promo. Because last week, they teased Punk and MJF, where MJF comes out and talks a little bit of shit to the fans. Punk comes out, doesn't say a word. Maxwell extends his hand, says, "Hey, I'm Maxwell." Punk looks at his hand, smiles, and walks away. Doesn't say a word. So cool. CM Punk comes out to wrestle Kevin James. I'm sorry, QC Marshall. Before the match could happen, MJF comes out. And they're in Chicago, by the way. So the crowd is obviously pro MJF. And MJF and Punk have a battle on the mic. A very good battle on the mic, which, in my opinion, I think it was very one-sided. But MJF had some good zingers. I mean, he tells Punk, I'm just paraphrasing, I'm gonna eviscerate you on the mic, worse than your UFC career. Or he said something like that. It tells Punk, you're basically PG Punk. You're coming out here as happy-go-lucky, to where I'm expecting you to come out and preach hustle, loyalty, and respect. Which I thought that was good. I thought that was funny as shit. I'm surprised they're not going to get in trouble for that. And tells Punk, that you're always going to be second best, whether it was the "you can't see me" man or the King of Kings. And I thought MJF won the battle on the mic. I really thought he did. I kind of want to watch it again. I'm going to pull it up real quick because I want to be able to remember like everything that happened in that promo. So let me pull it up real quick. Come on, YouTube. Okay, so let's pull up the promo. Why do I need to see a 15-second promo on whatever the fuck this is? Why do I care about Orbit? You could at least give me an option to skip. Okay, here we go.
Doesn't feel so good getting interrupted, does it, Punky Brewster?
Punky Brewster.
Quite frankly,
Telling MJF to shut the fuck up.
no. Quite frankly, you really hurt my feelings last week. I extended out my hand like a gentleman. And you really hurt my feelings, man. I mean, it was almost as bad as the time you quit, took your ball, and went home like a little bitch. You know what was great, though? The pipe bomb. Everybody loves the pipe bomb, right, Chicago? Yeah, my God, so good. Legendary. What you would call a great promo, and I think it's fair to say, Punky, that the pipe bomb is your best moment. Except here's the problem, bud. Every MJF moment is the best MJF moment. Because unlike you, I'm not a one-trick pony. And don't get it twisted, I respect you, man. I respect everything you've done. Hell, I even respect the fact that you're straight edge. Granted, never in my wildest dreams could I have possibly imagined a straight edge man could look so much like a meth addict.
Yeah, you kind of do, Punk. Come on. I mean, come on.
And in you, who are some opponents you would like to go up against, and you would name every single wrestler underneath the sun, except for moi. Now you can pretend it's because you weren't interested, but in reality, it's because you didn't want none. And who can blame you, Punky? I mean, your whole entire career on the stick, you've been big fish, small pond, and standing across from me, you're just a freaking minnow. You didn't want to go toe-to-toe with me on the stick, Punk? Well, too bad. Because I'm about to verbally finish you quicker than your UFC career.
Okay, that's how you say it. I think I almost got it right.
I heard you the first time. So check your watch, Papa Punk, because if you decide to retort, it won't say clobbering time. It'll say out of time. You can drop cute little pipe bombs all you want, because I'm MJF, and I drop nukes. I'm so disappointed in you. But let's not start there. Let's show our guest a little bit of Chicago hospitality. I want to thank you first and foremost for last week. You introduced yourself to me. That's what a proper young man is supposed to do to their elders. And I had no idea your first name was Maxwell. This entire time I thought MJF stood for my jealous fan. See, I got the time. Seems like it still kind of does, doesn't it? If you're so hung up on the fact that I never mentioned you anytime I did press, anytime I ever did an interview, I never brought your name up. Well, that was by design. The last thing I wanted to do is feed your rotten little ego. Look at me, Maxwell. I'm in your head. Probably has a lot to do with the fact that there's a poster of me on your wall. Doesn't change the fact that I'm disappointed because I've always heard about the great MJF, and that last week I did what nobody else in this industry, nobody else in AEW has been able to do. I shut up the great MJF without saying a word. You had 7 days. You had a whole week to think of good zingers, and you came out here with the lowest hanging fruit. He thinks he's somebody. He thinks what he does is revolutionary to the wrestling business, when in reality, he's just a less famous Miz.
That was actually good. Can you legally say Miz? That's what I'm wondering.
Okay, settle down, settle down, settle down. You know, Punky, that was really solid. I mean, really creative stuff. You know, it was almost what I wanted. Come to think of it, that phrase, almost what I wanted, kind of perfectly encapsulates your whole entire run here thus far, don't you think? I suppose it's true. Nostalgia
The crowd's shinning this. Really? Come on.
Nostalgia is a drug that causes us to misconstrue our memories, and you, my friend, are no more than nostalgia. And guess what, bud? You were right. I was a fan. I'm not ashamed to admit it. How couldn't I have been? I mean, in this ring, on the microphone, nobody could touch you. You were the best. Or so I thought, Chicago. Because ever since your almighty return, you've struggled to beat the easiest of competition, and you've struggled to say, quite literally, anything of intrigue. Oh my God. Punk, your breath smells like shit.
Yeah.
It's probably because you've been kissing so much ass recently. I mean, you have been robotically kissing ass all over the place. You know what? I'm going to do a little impression of you real quick. Chicago, do you mind if I give you a quick impression? It sure is great to be back here in insert name of town. I sure do love being a part of insert name of company. Gee whiz, I sure am looking forward to my matchup against insert name of opponent, Robotic Pucker Up Punk. You've gone soft, man. Your hair's going gray, and based on your eyes, if anybody needs to go to sleep, it's you, bud. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Something just hit me. This is no longer CM Punk. This is PG Punk. What happened to the guy I grew up on, man? What happened to the renegade, the ass kicker, the outsider? Because you might as well be coming out here preaching hustle, loyalty, and respect.
Man, they're getting away with a lot in this promo.
Except here's the problem, PG. I can see you. Hell, I can see through you, buddy. You claimed you'd only come back for the younger town, and yet you also claimed you'd only come back for a boatload of money. You claimed you couldn't fix professional wrestling from your couch in Chicago, and yet you stayed put on that couch for 7 long years. Excuse after excuse not to come back, poor K-Punk. Why? Is it because you were too busy making comic books nobody read and movies nobody saw? Or is it because you were terrified? Scared you couldn't hang anymore? Maybe scared you never could hang in the first place? And I have the microphone, Chicago! And I'm here to tell you, you should be scared, man. In the other company, these people looked at you like a cult hero because they felt you were held down. You should have been utilized and showcased as the #1 guy. And now, yeah, great, and now here you are. You have all the opportunity to prove these people right. But can you? Do you people think CM Punk can do it? I'm glad they think that now, Punk, but are they going to feel that way in a month, 2 months, a year? I don't envy you, man, but I know you envy me. And I know why you don't like me, PG Punk.
PG Punk.
I know why. It's because I represent everything about this business that you hate. I'm every single thing you hate because I was born for this. Oh yeah, I'm a clean-cut professional. I'm every single wrestling analyst, promoter, and pundit's wet dream, while you, on the other hand, We're a scrawny, tatted-up misfit from the dumpiest part of the Midwest, known as Chicago.
Mid.
You had to work your tail off to become the man you are today, and I commend you for that. But I know what keeps you up at night. I know what eats you up inside. It's the fact that after all your hard work, all your blood, sweat, tears, and sacrifice you've given this sport, deep down you know it, and these people know it. Your whole career, you've been nothing more than second best. Whether it was the You Can't See Me man, or the King of Kings, you were never quite up to snuff, were you? And I can assure you, now that you're standing in my ring, in my company, things will be no different, because you may claim to be the best in the world, but I'm better than you, and you know it.
Are you kidding me?
There's some truth in what you just said. A little bit. Scared. Coming back after 7 years, a little bit. See, I'm not gonna lie. Not even to you. I certainly never lied to these people. I didn't know if these people would remember me. I didn't know if these people would care. I didn't know if I still had it. But trust me, I'm not scared any longer. Certainly not scared of you. Because the timing might not match up. But I was selling out Madison Square Garden when you were marking out for Rosie O'Donnell.
Didn't happen.
And the last time on this show, you did a song and dance, you made the New York Times. Wow! Do you want to sing me a song right now, Maxwell? Don't worry. You're standing in the ring with a professional, and you're going to make the New York Times again, but this time it's going to be the obituaries. Because you have just enrolled yourself into a college your parents cannot afford. You talk too much. Yeah, just like me back in the day, except I always backed it up, and you can't back up shit without your backup. FTR, Sean Spears, Wardlow. That's how you get things done around here, and I never mention you in interviews because I never had to. I looked at AEW and I said, wow, that's the place I want to be. That's the place I want to test myself, and I went for the heart and soul of AEW, Darby Allin, and boy, that just chews you up, doesn't it? And I beat Darby Allin, and I didn't need a ring to do it. You're too busy talking about how you're the most powerful of the four pillars. You don't even realize you've been replaced by Britt Baker. And while you think you've made some excellent points, I think you talk too much and we've wasted these people's time.
It's almost done, people.
They call Chicago the second city, not because there's a city that's better than it, not because there's this city that was first, and you want to call me number two? I'll proudly wear number two with a bullet, because just like Chicago, they call us the second city because when it burned to the ground, we just built right back up on top of the smoldering embers. And who's the man around here? Who's number one? Is it you? No, I don't think so. The only way you're going to be number one is if we all wait around long enough for Tony to have a daughter that you marry.
Oh! Okay, that's the end because they have a brawl around here. But yeah, MJF won that by a mile. I mean, Punk's a good promo, but his retorts were very what's the word I'm looking for? They're very same old. I mean, it was basically just Punk, saying, well, I'm CM Punk, and you're just a less famous Miz, which is basically a compliment to the Miz. If we're being real, I mean, people actually know who the Miz is. Like the guy was on Dancing with the Stars. He has his own reality show. He main evented WrestleMania, which Punk even said he didn't like. He hated that because, in his words, that should have been him. Even though in that documentary, Miz was just like complimenting Punk and saying how great he was, and Punk was like, "Yeah, fuck the Miz." I'm like, like really? That's just bitter, dude. Like, come on, that's bitter and that's resentful. Like, get over it. Like, get over whatever you have against the Miz. And the whole Triple H line, oh, you're only gonna be the best if you marry Tony Khan's daughter. It's like, really? That's the best you have? Yeah. MJF owned Punk. MJF won that promo battle by a landslide. He came out cooking with fire. I'm gonna have to add. But yeah, I've said, I don't think I've said it on here. I haven't really enjoyed Punk's AEW run. Like MJF said, it's Punk has been very much the stomp and clap babyface. I'm gonna wrestle against everybody. I'm gonna barely beat them, even though you're supposed to be CM Punk. You're the top you're one of the top superstars, quote unquote, in wrestling, but you're barely having to defeat Matt Sydal and Daniel Garcia and insert name here of other wrestler. Like, Punk should be having competitive matches against top guys, not against fucking Bobby Fish, not against Daniel Garcia, not against Matt Sydal, and nothing against those guys, but it's just like, come on. I get Punk wants to help out the young guys, even though that's kind of laughable at this point. But yeah, I haven't really enjoyed Punk's run so far. So hopefully this feud with MJF can maybe awake something in him, but we'll see. But anyways, guys, that's the show. That's all we're going to talk about today. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Have a happy and safe day. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody who listens to the show, supports me, who's a friend of mine. And anyways, guys, take care. I'll see y'all next week. And peace.